So, welcome everybody to this week's game. Our first proper session of the game. Usually I would ask somebody to kind of recap a little bit about what happened last time, but basically what happened last time was you were on a ship, and now you're no longer on a ship. Actually, you're still on a ship, but you were told what was up, and we got to know some of your characters a little bit and see what they're all about. But now your voyage has brought you to your destination in Lindvale, and you're just anxiously waiting to get to shore and get to work on your job. And I don't know, maybe some other things your characters might want to do. But I thought we would still, just as a quick kind of reminder, go through the characters. So everybody can kind of introduce, well, as a reminder for everyone, just introduce yourselves in terms of like your name as a person, as a human being, what's your name, and then who you're playing, and kind of what their deal is in a couple of words. So who wants to start? Any volunteers? None? Tyler?
I guess I'll go first.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Tyler. I play Kalon. He is a Dwegar. He's on the shorter side, even for a dwarf. He's around 4.5 feet tall. He's more lithe than the typical dwarf as well. But he's sneaky, tricksy, and at the moment, you just know he's mostly in it for the coin.
All right. Any other volunteers?
I guess I'll go next.
All right.
So,
go ahead.
My name's Haley, and my character's name is Arya. They are a dragonborn, and as far as most people can tell, I'm just here to make sure everyone's pretty much protected and all good, and trying to make sure things go smoothly. So, and is also very, very tall. So,
the polar opposite. I love how everyone's presenting it as like, as far as all of you know, this is why they're here.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's how it is. That's how it is. All right. Which one of you is gonna go? Which one is gonna go?
I'll go.
There we go.
My name is Kate, and I'm playing Talia Greystone. She is she's fairly short, but I think she's still classified as medium. She's a 5 foot tall tabaxi woman, and with tabby coloring. And as far as you know, she is an arcane researcher here to. Specifically in the study of rocks geology and their arcane properties, and she's here to do that study. She ran out of rocks in Farn Lawson, I guess.
All right, Will.
I'm Will. I play Artie. Artie is a human. He's kind of young. He's about like 19, 20-ish. He's got like brown hair, brown eyes, and if I had to guess, I would say people are a little perplexed as to why Artie's here, because he definitely doesn't look like he should be here. He's just got regular old commoner clothing. He doesn't look special in any sort of way, but he's here. He's happy to be here. He's looking for just have some fun.
Uh-huh.
Great.
Uh-huh. Sure.
And that went over great on the application.
Well, it seems to have worked somehow. But yeah, I do, of course. But then we also have Ali, who was unable to join us today, but will be back next time and playing Erevan, hold on, double checking. Half elf, right? Right?
Yeah.
Yes, half elf. Yeah, a half elf.
I believe he's a half elf. Yes.
Yes, a half elf who is I think, as far as, well, hold on, this is dangerous because I know a lot more, but I think as far as you know, Erevan's some sort of noble.
I remember.
He is
he portrayed himself as some sort of noble.
He is a noble from the house of Gilfried.
As far as you know.
Yes, as far as we know. And he is mid-20s.
Yeah. But yeah, Erevan is today going to be very passively coming along with all of you, just hanging around at the back of the group, just happily walking around and not asking any questions or answering any.
He's not confident in his language skills quite yet. He was very focused, and
yeah,
hasn't quite nailed it all down yet, I guess.
Yeah. Anyways, so we're gonna get started. So today, since we're starting to play for real now, I'll quickly go through some like practicalities. So if you wanna if you wanna like use a skill check, or you wanna try something out, you wanna do some cartwheel, or you wanna hit somebody in the face or stuff like that, let me know before you start rolling anything, and I'll then tell you what you'll want to be rolling for that. Same with, of course, any sort of like magics or anything. Speaking of magics, I did go through all of your sheets. I don't really memorize like what exactly you have in terms of spells and such, because I like to be a little surprised sometimes when you pull something out and I'm like, oh yeah, that was there. Now the whole thing is ruined. but yeah, so one thing to note of magical spells, because you've got some that are kind of sneaky and, you know, for specific purposes. Magic spells, always when they have a vocal or a somatic component, they're gonna be obvious. That's the one important thing to know about magic, is that when it's cast, it's obvious. Like when you're saying the magical words to detect magic, for example, people around you are going to hear it. You have to say it loud enough that people around can hear it. And same with like hand wavy components. They need to be kind of big and such. So that's just so you know that by default you can't really like sneak it in and do it stealthily, because that's specific to sorcerers. They have the ability to cast spells without using these components, so we can't just give it that to you free. But of course, there's ways around it. For example, if somebody's distracted, maybe they won't notice somebody in the back casting some sneaky spell. But yeah, that's the challenge to take into account. Material components are generally it's a kind of basic rule. Material components are usually covered by your arcane focus or some sort of other spellcasting focus, except if they have a monetary value, then you need to have the actual thing. So you need to go and buy the thing.
We don't already have any of them.
I mean, probably for the spells you have right now, you may have some. Is there a particular spell you have that would require something?
No, not right now, no. I was just asking for the group.
Does anyone have any spell that would require anything? Haley's in limbo.
I have to imagine she
Nothing
does.
that would cost anything.
Let's see. Let me look at Arya's spells here. I mean, not really. I mean, it's, you know, a couple of
Okay.
you
I don't know where all her levels are.
God,
I-
random god who likes to keep everybody safe spells.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think there's anything in particular there.
I'm fortunate that here's a little peek behind the curtain. I'm fortunate that any tricks I know, I don't need material
Oh.
components.
Yeah. I mean, usually material components are pretty easy to come by, except for the more specific, and we're talking like higher level spells usually that you wouldn't have even access to at this point necessarily. But yeah, the other components that was important to get off at the beginning, that they are obvious. So just because I think somebody had a suggestion. I don't even remember who it is anymore, but like a classic suggestion situation is that there's like 3 guards and you try to cast suggestion on one of them. Obviously it's going to work on the one. Well, not obviously, it might work on the one. But then the 2 others are going to be like, hold on. What happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
or then something.
Unless you upcast it, and then you can get all 3.
I think you specifically
Yeah.
need mana suggestion. Or no, can you upcast it?
Yeah, true. But anyways, yeah. Point is, magic is
We're being
obvious.
nitpicky now.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. We'll get to it when the times come. But generally, of course, if you have any sort of like questions about how spells work, if it's something where you think that it could be something that could be not obvious and not straightforward, literally what it says, ask me, of course. I'm wondering how Haley's trying to reconnect, I guess. Where's our Dragonborn?
Maybe
No.
toss her a DM.
Yeah, I'll ask how's it going.
Before we step off the boat without our bodyguard.
Yeah.
Don't worry, guys. I'll protect us.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for
There she is.
Talia to have
Oh, yeah.
let's call it a Mervyn moment.
Wait,
down the line
no.
in the game.
Wait, no. Is a Mervin moment when I set up something cool and roll miserably, or what? Or
No,
when I
it's-
make everything worse by a terrible
By
decision.
killing someone.
By killing someone, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. I only did that like a dozen times.
Only.
I played a yeah. Now we can.
Hold on, you can hear Haley?
I heard her say, "Can you guys hear me?"
Oh,
Yes.
I could not.
I could hear.
Let's get to business then. As you might remember, the way we ended last time was that you had arrived by ship to Lindvale. You've been on the ship again for like 2 months, and it's been a rough time. You went through a very rough storm. Overall, not fun. You've been spending your days studying and trying to keep yourself occupied because none of the crew wants you to be in the way, and yeah, so it's not been a fun time, but you've finally made it back to, or not back, but to Lindvale. But once you arrived at the docks, you were told that you still need to wait because the ambassador and kind of the top brass of this trip, they need to go and, you know, figure out that everything's okay, that you're allowed to go there and you're allowed to enter the city and so on. So you've been given strict orders to stay on the ship for now, and it has been a couple of days. But eventually you've probably been kind of keeping an eye on it, and so you've seen that there's been some people from the ship kind of going out and coming back in, just like the few people who have been allowed to do so. And now you are not necessarily probably together in a huddle anywhere, but somebody's going around and telling you that you need to go to a specific place on the ship, and I assume everybody does do so. So you go, and there is a dwarf who you know as Grimhand, and Grimhand is basically you've learned that Grimhand's the one who's been dealing a fair bit more with you than the ambassador. For the ambassador, you've really only met her the one time, but Grimhand seems to be like her second in command kind of deal here. A dwarf indeed, and has been pretty gruff, very classic dwarf in a way. But yeah, Grimhand has now gathered your group over, and says to all of you, "Oh, Team C, you're all here. Are you ready?"
Yes.
No.
He says, "Good. We've been cleared. Everybody can now go to land. And so your mission begins. Now, as we've gone through before, you will need to come back to the ship periodically, maybe once a week or so, to report on your progress. Of course, if there's anything earlier, you can come in as well and tell us about it. Spare no details. You will be paid a salary, a weekly salary. You can get it from Fula. And the salary will be paid to you, usually when you come and report. Other than that, you should likely stay away from the ship. Nothing for you to do here. We are Livernians. Your job is to meet the people of Lindvale and get to know them. And to this end, of course, you are no longer lodging here. Your first order of business should probably be to find a place where you can live. As we've said, we will be here for the next year, so try and figure out a permanent place to be. If you can't find anything, I've heard that there are some inns around the town where you could possibly have some temporary lodging before you can find a more permanent solution, but that should probably be your first order of business. Beyond that, you should then get along with your mission to get to know the people, get to know the culture, and find out more about your mission. Grimhand kind of winks, not stating it aloud, but you can figure out that he's referring to your job at finding out more about the Warforged. Grimhand continues on and says, as said, you will be working mostly alone, but of course if you need any support you can come to us and we can see about providing it. Anything you might need, you can come to us and we can figure out if we can help out or not. That should be all. Any questions?
Nope, not for me.
No questions? All right, well, off you go then. There's the exit.
I think we all very quickly exit the boat. Or no, Talia exits the boat quickly.
Yep. So. Sorry, Talia, did you say something?
Kalon grumbles and says it's about damn time and starts trotting off.
So, your group exits out of the ship and down on the dock. As I mentioned before, it's a pretty long dock, and in fact the whole dockyards, the whole area around here is like full of docks, full of ships. It's clear that Lindvale is, it's a coastal city, and it's clear that they have a lot of ships going on. You can see that they seem to, for the most part, be like civilian-ish ships, like trade ships and such seem to be around this area where you are. Although when you were coming in, you did notice that further along to like the left when you were facing the city, you could see that there was another harbor in the distance, which seemed to be it was connected to the fortress that you saw up on top of the cliffs, so it seemed to be more for the military vessels. And then of course you also saw another harbor to your right. So there seems to be a lot of ships around here. And in fact, the whole dock area is very busy as well. There's a lot of people going around, working and just traversing through the area. You notice that they probably have gotten a little bit used to the fact that there's this strange ship around here, so they don't seem to pay too much attention to you, but you do feel like people are kinda, checking out who these foreigners are. And you can also tell easily that you look like foreigners. Your clothing, your style, is very different from theirs. So it's anybody could see right away that you are from somewhere far away. As I also mentioned last time, you take specific notice of the fact that there's a lot of dyed hair around here. And you do notice that basically, as far as you can tell, every single elf has some sort of hair dye going on. And they are very colorful dyes, very unnatural, colorful dyes of hair. Other races also sport them, but you also see others with natural hair. All the elves also, now that you get closer, you notice they also have a mark on their forehead. A little colorful, like a little diamond shape on their foreheads, some sort of makeup. That's something you take note of, like, immediately.
Do we see any half elves around?
Yeah.
Do they also all have the mark and usually dyed hair?
So, half elves are an interesting question in the first place, generally in D&D, because I would interpret it in such a way that that a half elf can potentially be very human-like or very elf-like. So I would say that it wouldn't necessarily always be obvious when you look at somebody that you can tell that they are like a half elf, instead of that they are a human with slightly pointed ears or an elf with slightly rounded ears or something like that. So I would say inconclusive. You're not sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was asking to make sure, like, if we wanted to pass as locals, if we would need to do that for Erebon.
Mm-hmm.
Making sure. Okay.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, you notice these people, but then of course you do notice also the Warforged. You see a lot of Warforged. When I say a lot, I mean like there's a fair few of them. It's not that they are like, when compared to other races, that they are like a majority or anything, but there's still a lot of them. Like, you can see them, and they are working around here. And you can see, for example, in the distance, you can see that there's a couple of three like pretty built, strong people. You think they're humans. They're like carrying some sort of crate of something. It seems pretty heavy. They need all three of them. But then you notice that they hand it over to one Warforged, and the one Warforged picks it up and carries on with it. Hello. So, what are your characters thinking? What are your thoughts? What are your plans? Where are you wanting to go?
I think we turn to Arya, because I feel like, of us, she feels like the de facto leader.
Okay, I think we should find somewhere to sleep first, and then we can do what we want afterwards. I think that's probably priority number one. We're gonna sleep tonight.
Okay.
If I were to
can't
say.
see Kate or Haley for some reason.
Oh. Try hold on. Let's actually all. I'm going to post a new link. I'm going to test this one if this works better. It's the same password, so let's all reconnect to this one. All right, how about now? Can everyone see everyone?
Yes.
Let me just see about what is the deal, what's wrong. But I did change one setting that hopefully will help then. But yeah, so wait, what am I missing? There we go. So how do you go about trying to figure out where to go, where to find a place to sleep? What's your game plan?
We could just find like a inn first and then figure something out later, more permanent. But just for, at least for a night, our first night, we should probably find somewhere, even if it's not permanent.
Yeah, I guess just either ask one of the dock workers or get out of the harbor and then ask someone.
Dock workers would probably know somewhere to sleep.
Yeah.
At least, local ones.
Yeah.
Yep, asking for some directions is probably a good idea because, as I said, you have no idea about where you are or where anything is around here. So, so do you just go to the closest person you can see?
Yeah, I'll go to the closest person we can see. And just ask, hey, is there somewhere around here that we can stay? An inn or something?
So you're talking to a sailor. You assume they are a sailor. They look like a sailor. And they say they look at you and they were kind of working on something, so they turn to look at you, and they look at you for a moment, and they look up at you, and they say, sorry, could you say that again?
I was just wondering if you know of an inn that's around here, a close by inn, so we could just get our stuff settled. You seem like you might know your way around here.
The sailor says, inn? What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Do you have
a place where we can pay to stay temporarily.
Oh. Well, I mean, there's the sailor seems a little bit confused. They say, well, I don't really know. Don't you have a place to live around here?
We're new here.
Where did you come from?
Well, we're just visiting, and we come from Livernia. That's where we come from. So we're just visiting.
Livernia, where's that? West?
Is this map oriented north?
Yes. Good question. Classic question.
Yeah. No, southeast.
The sailor seems even more confused and says, southeast. Lindvale is southeast. Do you mean further east down the coast?
No. You know the big scary storm that's always there? On the other side of that.
The
We
rift?
come from far away.
Yeah, on the rift. On the other side of it. You
The
call it
sailor
the
seems
rift.
completely confounded about this and is like, oh. No wonder you look like that then. I'm sorry, I'm not really from around here. I'm from Saxes. I'm just coming through, so I don't really know. I sleep on the ship. Don't you sleep on your ship?
We were told we couldn't.
We could sleep on the ship.
Yeah,
The
I suppose if we were really desperate and we came back and said, "Well, we failed in our first step."
Well,
The sailor-
we're trying to get a feel for the culture, so we
Yeah.
want to stay at an inn or some place where, you can get food, drinks, and stay for a night or so.
The sailor says, okay, I get it. Captain's mad, sure. There's the half-white gnome is over there. They point out into kind of towards like west on the docks, at a building which actually, now that you look at it, it looks like it's some sort of drinking establishment probably.
Thank you so much.
You're
Good
welcome.
Place to start.
Yeah, good luck. I hope the captain forgives you.
Thank you. Safe travels. And then go there, I suppose.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. On the way, you're kind of walking along the dock, along the coast there, and suddenly hear this loud like bang / snap noise, and instinctively you're all likely going to turn around and look what is happening, and you can see that there's a crane that was lifting some sort of huge heavy crate around, and it has just snapped the rope on that crate, and it has come crashing down. And you can see that there's a Warforged who you would guess was like leaning on, like the crate has dropped on another crate, so the Warforged seems to have been leaning on like the other crate or something, because long story short, their arm has been like crushed by that other crate, and their arm is actually like severed. This is happening like very close by to you, so you can clearly see what's happening. So the Warforged has lost their arm, and the reaction from the Warforged, first of all, you haven't really interacted with any Warforged yet, but just from looking at them from a distance, you can tell that you can't actually tell any sort of expression on their face, which you figure out is going to make it pretty hard if you ever need to try and figure out what a Warforged is kind of looking like. So they just have like a wooden and metal plate on their face, and it's not moving or anything. So it's hard to say exactly what they are thinking, but the Warforged kind of just turns around and looks at the severed arm and kind of seems to scratch their head and seems to be pretty nonchalant about the whole thing. Not because you would assume that somebody would be like, my arm, panicking and being like, I'm dying. But this Warforged is just like, oh, that happened.
Completely nonplussed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to do anything about the situation, or do you want to? Are you just watching? Keep watching the things happening? Or are you gonna move along?
I'm gonna want to go over and make sure everyone's okay, just to make sure nobody else got hurt too. And I just want to see if like the Warforged is like okay, even though it's not like screaming or anything like that. So I just want to make sure everyone's okay.
Yeah, fair few people are like coming in on the scene, and as far as you can tell, just quickly, nobody else got hurt in any way. You can hear one of the people kind of come along and they seem to be somewhat like in charge of things around here, and they just tell the Warforged, they're like, oh, sorry about that. Why don't you head on back and get that replaced? See you tomorrow. And they kind of just send the Warforged off, and another person goes along with them and kind of just helps them along. The Warforged actually, when they start walking away, you do notice that they seem to be hobbling a little bit, like they are, like as if they were like somebody had just like spun them around 100 times and told them to walk that way. They're hobbling a little bit, but the friend is moving them along.
Should we follow them to maybe see like where they get their repairs done?
I mean, if you want to be stealthy about it, I don't think I should go, but right. I think it's a good idea.
Okay. Does anyone want to come with me? And then maybe Arya can. Okay, Arya can do the get us a room. All right. Right then, I will set out. I've got Artie with me. Just okay.
Does anyone else go there? Kellogg?
I'm not good at stuff, so no, I'm not going.
Thank you.
I mean, I don't really know what.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't really know what kind of like stealth you're expecting to do if you're just following someone along in the streets.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna.
I don't really know if there's gonna be
quite a ways. I mean, it's a busy city, so I'm hoping.
Yeah, it is a busy city, so
unless we get.
Like I don't know why you would leave somebody behind, is my point here.
Oh, well, I mean...
Or rather, I'm not really sure what you're planning here, if you're gonna be... So, first of all, like, of course, off the table, the question is splitting the party right away, but also, like, just in character, you are just now, for the first time, coming to a place you have no idea about. And your first plan is to split and somehow find your way together again after that?
We know the name of. I can see the establishment that the guy pointed to, and we have the name of it. Kate did not write it down, but Talia knows what it is, and and we're gonna follow the person, note where they go, and then ask someone else how to get back to that establishment.
Sure.
I feel like
I mean,
we could do it.
we don't have to be overtly tricksy to follow. We just stay a handful of paces behind.
If you're not planning on being stealthy, I'll definitely go. But if you're planning on being stealthy, I don't want to.
I was planning on just sort of on just like staying a ways back and like just I wasn't planning on like hiding behind crates as we're moving.
Well, I didn't know what your plan was for when they actually get to the place. You know what I mean?
Oh no! I was not going to
all.
break in or anything like that.
Okay.
No. I was just planning on noting where it is.
Okay.
Yeah, this is kind of where I was getting at, was like,
I just
what
wanted
are
to
you
know
actually
where
going
the
to be like
home of the
stealthing?
Warforged was. I just wanted to know where it was.
Gotcha. I'll go with then.
Okay.
Wasn't sure where you were going with this, so I just wanted to make sure I wasn't stepping on toes here.
All right. But yeah, I think because like right now you haven't established any way of like communicating or anything, so it's a little questionable too.
I figured we would meet back at the tavern or whatever it was.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
But you don't know how long this is gonna take.
No, I don't.
Exactly.
Anyways, by the way, something I forgot to establish was that we're gonna always assume that you are speaking you're speaking Armadan
dialect.
common. Yeah, you're speaking the common that is spoken here, except if you specifically tell me that you're speaking Liburnian common. And remember that is Liburnian common is kind of a secret language for you. As far as you know, nobody around here speaks it. But of course, you know their language, and also magic exists. So remember that. But basically, it's a secret language. But also, by the way, preemptively getting to the fact that you should always consider the situation, because think about you as a person would be in a group of like people from another country, and they start suddenly talking their own language that you don't understand. So think of the situation where you do that. Is all I'm saying. But yeah, we're gonna assume that anyways for the language. But yeah, okay. So you decide that you want to start slowly walking behind this Warforged and their friend. Are you trying to like be close enough to hear if they are talking about something?
Not with Arya.
I will stand back if you want to get closer a little bit. Just follow.
I mean, it's also a street.
Right, stick
Like
out
you
a
can
little bit.
you can also just like walk behind somebody on the street because that's a normal thing to do. So as long as you don't
I know, but not the whole
make
thing
it
there.
weird. Well, maybe it is the same. Maybe you're going the same way. As if you don't make it weird, it's not weird. But if you do make it weird, it is weird.
You said they know we're foreigners though because of our clothes and stuff like that. It would be weird for us to be going to a Warforged.
Why are you
repair
trying
shop.
to convince us not to be cautious?
No, see, I'm just like I'm just trying to frame kind of the situation. Like you're just walking in town, and I'm just kind of asking if you're like trying to be close enough to them, or are you staying further away? Regardless, so the point is that you are walking, and they actually start walking on a pretty large street. This seems to be a pretty large street. That seems to be a lot of people are walking along here, so it wouldn't be like they would have no reason to start being suspicious about you. They haven't been looking back at you either. So the only thing is that yes, you do stand out. You do stand out of the crowd, and people along the street do kind of stare at you. But nobody's specifically like asking, "Hey, why are you walking behind these two people?"
Yeah.
Unless you make it a question.
All right, fine. I'll get close and see and try and hear what they're talking about if they're having a conversation.
Okay, they turn around and ask, "Who are you?" So yeah, they you kind of just sneakily walk a little faster, and you're maybe you're looking around, kind of just being like, "I'm not here." Maybe start whistling, and so you listen in on them, and they don't seem to be talking about anything too interesting. It seems like they're mainly talking about like their work, like that's a topic. They both seem to be working at the dock, and the friend is being kind of like, thanks for getting me off work today. Jokingly, of course, like being
Right.
like lucky me that you had an accident so that I don't need to work now because I'm escorting you. And yeah, the Warforged seems to be just fine.
So is the Warforged speaking? all?
Yes.
And they're congenial, they're friendly, they're like, the Warforged isn't like a servant or a lower class, they're peers.
Seems to be, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, these two seem to be friends.
Okay.
Talia takes out a big book and starts writing down.
Yeah.
Interesting.
When we hear the voice coming from the Warforged, what does it sound like? And is there some kind of indication of inflection?
What do you mean about indication about inflection?
Basically, do they sound like just a normal person talking, or do they have to like state their intention of how they're speaking? Like if they're wanting to say, make a casual joke, do they say sarcasm and then make the quip?
No, they speak pretty normally. Like, okay, so first of all, they do sound slightly like robotic. There's no mouth that moves. The voice just kind of comes from somewhere. They speak pretty normally, but also you are kind of getting at a point, because the Warforged seems to sound a little like muted in terms of like emotionally, like it's hard to tell because it's just one person right now. It's hard to tell if this is just their personality, that they're just pretty kind of one kind of level, not animated in any way, or if it's a Warforged thing. But yeah, they seem to be pretty like pretty I wouldn't call it like emotionless. You can tell that there's like they are, expressing stuff, but it's just less. Let's put it that way.
Gotcha.
And then we fade back into our group.
Into the shadows. So as you kind of so first of all, you start heading on your way. You start heading towards the east on a larger street. You can tell that the city is pretty urban. It's pretty tightly built, and you see a mixture of fairly old stuff and also some really new stuff. So new buildings, and something you take note of as well is that some of the buildings seem like they are kind of built a little bit too tightly as well at times. And it seems like those tend to be the new parts. And it seems like people are kind of adding two buildings, have been adding very recently two buildings to just kind of make more space to them. And there might not really be space to be had.
Does it look like they're almost to the point where all they can go is up?
Yeah. And in fact, you do notice that the buildings tend to be built pretty high, like a couple of stories on most houses here. And the kind of little peaks you get at windows and such, the rooms themselves seem to be fairly small, so it doesn't seem to be a case of like them just wanting more space for the luxury of it, but rather just to fit more people in. When you left the ship, it was around noon, and you kind of start following these people, and you're kind of just walking along behind them, and probably just looking around and trying to absorb as much knowledge from the surroundings as you can.
Are there street markers?
There actually are not. There are no like not a very like sophisticated street signage system or anything. A lot of like you're, as I said, on a pretty big street, but there's a lot of like small tiny alleys going between the houses around here. It's hard to tell, or in fact it would be impossible for you to tell without going up and asking the people how far they are going to be walking. But it's been like, let's say you've been walking for like half an hour now. The Warforged is hobbling, so they are walking pretty slow to begin with. And you've been walking for like half an hour, and now but now you see the Warforged and their friend. You see them going inside of a building. They just kind of open up a door and go inside. Do you just barge in there?
Is the building marked in any way? Like repair house signage or...
you look around and you kind of you see if there's any sort of marking of anything, and in fact you do notice that there is a pretty small sign that just says the Red Eel. It just that's the text, and it's pretty small. It's not something that you would really see from far away, and in fact it's also positioned such that you really do need to kind of come up to the building and kind of look at it to see the text there.
Right.
On the face of the building, though, you don't really see anything specific. There's no walls on the first floor. On the second floor, did I say walls? I meant windows. There's no windows on the first floor, but on the second floor, you do see some windows. Can't really say what's in there though.
Shall we go in?
Red Eel. Does not seem like a repair house to me.
It is odd. I'm wary of going in. I know this was my idea to follow them, but my plan really was just to find out where the repair house was, but this is weird.
I mean, we could always come
Maybe-
back. We know where it is.
Yeah.
Maybe they stop for lunch. It is noon.
You know what? That is a good point. It's a very good point.
Speaking of which, I am hungry.
Okay.
Well, you go in. If it's a repair shop, you're like, oh, I thought this was somewhere to eat. I was hungry. And we can maybe get,
That's a great idea. Yeah, let's go in. And if it's not a restaurant, if it's not a tavern, we will leave.
Yeah. Say we thought it was a tavern. We're new.
Yes. Okay. That is
All of us go in?
Might as well. No point in one of us staying out here at this point, right?
If we want to try and get in later, though.
You're
No,
researching?
no, let's all go in. Let's all go in. Let's all.
No.
It's fine. It's fine.
You're in.
We've only
Yeah.
We've only
Go on.
had fish in hardtack for the last 6 months. I want something different.
Yes.
6 weeks, I should say.
They're just called the Red Eel. It'll probably be fish, if I had to guess, if it's a restaurant.
But yeah, you're in your tourist mode, which is exactly right. So you all kind of just barge in. You open up the door, and there's you see just a corridor, and pretty long, like a couple of meters, several feet forward. Just a corridor with nothing on the sides, and at the end there's just another door again.
Keep walking in.
Do you just go through the second door as well?
Duh.
Yeah.
No, you don't, because it's locked.
Okay, it's not a restaurant. It's not a restaurant. Turn around. Everyone, we're leaving now. We're not. No.
Yeah, I agree. We should probably leave if there's locked doors here.
Yep,
Like the
that's not
first door's locked.
bad idea. Okay.
You see Kalon's hand reach for the satchel that is not what you usually see him working with, but then you say, let's leave, and he's like, and he leaves with you.
We can always come back.
Yeah.
So keep that in handy.
All right. What's the plan then?
Should we go back to that one
The
tavern?
inn, or
Yeah, the inn or
at
the
least
tavern.
place to
or
get a
whatever.
drink. We don't even know if we can buy a room there yet.
Yeah, do we want to ask another stranger if there's an inn? Because that guy wasn't from here.
It might be a good idea.
Now that we're in town,
Yeah.
You're
we
still
ask a new stranger.
you're actually still kind of in the dark areas. A little further back in, but you're still kind of in the general dark areas, like the sea is a little bit away there.
You know what might get us good results is if we go into a store and ask an employee, because they're sure to live here.
There you go. Good idea.
Yeah, I guess.
All right, let's do that. Let's pick a random store
Well,
or
there
any
aren't
kind
For
of
a store.
any kind of commercial establishment.
Yeah, there aren't any random furniture stores around here, but there's some. There's like a small fish market around here, where you see some people by market stalls selling fish.
Okay.
You want to go ask one of the
terms of-
fish merchants?
In terms of transportation, do people just go by foot, or is there like carriages or other modes of transportation?
It seems like a lot of people, most people, are walking about by foot. You do see some like there's some horse-drawn vehicles, but at least around here, most of them seem to be for hauling actual like stuff around rather than people.
All right. Yeah, I guess
So
we
do you
go
wanna
to
go-
the fish merchant. Yeah,
Mhm.
and ask if there's an inn somewhere around here.
As you approach the merchant, they are first of all from a distance you thought that they looked like some sort of kind of they look kind of elvish to you from a distance, but as you get closer you notice that they are actually standing on a crate and they are a halfling. And so they were not nearly as tall as you first believed. The halfling greets you first and yells out and says, "Fish! You coming for fish? I've got good fish. Come on! How much do you need? All of this is for sale. How much?"
Kaylon, did you want? It's not cooked. It's just normal raw fish, right? It's not cooked.
Yeah, no, not cooked.
Okay. Then sorry to bother you, sir. We were wondering if you could direct us to an inn or somewhere that we can stay the night.
The halfling says, well, for the right price, my place is right around the corner here.
Okay.
How many fish do you want?
Goodbye. No.
You said it's a fish market. We can go to someone else, right?
Yeah. No.
All right.
We're walking away from this.
All right. You go to another merchant then,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
this one you believe is a halfling on a crate as well, but this one is actually an elf. And as you approach, they greet you and they say, "Hello, fish. We got fish. What kind of fish do you need? How much fish do you want?"
I say the exact same thing.
The elf says, "Well, I sell fish. I don't really. I mean, I don't really have an inn for you. I sell fish.
No.
How much do you need?"
I understand, sir. I'm asking you if you know if there's an inn nearby.
The merchant says, look, I don't stay at inns. I have my own home. It's just upstairs here. But I sell fish here, so here's all my fish. We got herring, we got trout. Which one do you want? How many do you want?
Is it possible
We can talk
there
about the
isn't
price.
inns?
It's
Because like the first guy didn't seem
yeah,
to know
he
what we were talking
also
about either.
didn't have anything.
So maybe
Alright.
just inns aren't a thing. Maybe we should go back to the first person, take her up on her deal. Honestly, if we're gonna be paying for a room anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
Just a thought.
Yeah. No. It's.
What was the name? What was the name of the establishment that the sailor told us? Something gnome.
Half-Light gnome? Was that it?
Half-eyed gnome.
Half-eyed.
Maybe it was half-eyed. Half something, I think. Gnome.
Why did none of us write it down?
I'll
Okay.
let you figure it out.
I might have wrote it wrong. I think it was Half-Light.
Okay.
That's what I wrote, but I could have heard it wrong.
Okay. All right. Let's go to that tavern.
The elf says, hey, fish. I've got a lot of fish here. How much do you need? We can talk about the price. How much do you need? Come on, talk with me. Work with me.
Not even gonna respond to him. I'm just gonna walk away. All right. I'm done with those people. I'm sorry, that was a bad idea. So
No, it was a good idea. Just, unexpected results.
yeah. All right. And it might be true. It did cross my mind when the guy didn't know what an inn was. I was like, do they not have inns? But
I thought it might have been like a language barrier thing, but he didn't seem to know when I said somewhere to spend the night either, so.
yeah. All right, let's go to that tavern he pointed us to. And maybe
So you're going all the way back to where you started from? Near the ship?
yeah. Seems like we're gonna have to, so yeah.
All right.
At least the at least the crossways between where the dock was and where the street began again, and then turn in the direction that he pointed.
Oh yeah.
At least it's an inn. We can
Yep.
get you something to eat there. If nothing else.
All right. So eventually you make your way back. It's a pretty simple process since it was a large street that you followed, so you'll be able to get back by just turning back on that. So you end up back at that at the dock area, and where the accident happened. They've already fixed everything up there. Somebody's repairing the crane. And you continue on towards the establishment, which you're not entirely sure what it's called. And you arrive there, and it's a very loud and rowdy place.
Great. Let's go in.
My
and-
sort of place. Yes.
All right. I guess we go in, and if the barkeep is not, well, I guess even if the barkeep is busy, we'll try and get their attention.
The barkeep, or somebody you think is the barkeep around here, they do seem to be pretty busy as you try to kind of get to them. But as you approach, you notice that the barkeep is actually something that you are not really sure you've ever seen before. Because they seem like they're they look like an elf, but with bluish skin. And you've never seen anyone like that before.
Oh. That's cool. All right. Well,
Do you
I'm
start
not
your
gonna
conversation by saying, "Why are you blue?"
No, of course not. I will not comment on that.
What do you mean?
I'll
Of
just-
course not.
If they come at me with that energy and ask why I have fur, then I'll come back with them. But I'll ask, do you have rooms for rent by the night here?
The barkeep yells at you and says, "What?"
Do you have rooms for rent by the night?
The barkeep turns to look at you and says, "What?"
I just shout the same thing louder.
The barkeep says, "No." Seems
Is there
kind
any
of
place
confused about
around
confused about the request.
Ugh.
Is there
The
any
bar-
place that does that kind of thing at all?
The barkeep yells back at you and says, "We sell grog. Are you buying grog or not? That's what everyone's drinking around here. Who are you? What are you doing here? Get out of my place if you don't want to drink. We don't have space."
I won't drink. And he puts a coin on the counter.
Great.
The barkeep looks at the coin and says, "What is that?"
Oh shoot, we never did the money exchange. Oh good god.
Maybe we should
All
go
right.
do that.
Yeah, all right,
what
fine.
kind of what kind of coin did you put down?
Well, all he's got on him is gold. So
One gold
Oh,
coin.
Oh no.
But yeah, the barkeep is just asking you, like, "What is that?"
he's gold.
The barkeep grabs the coin and looks at it and bites it and says,
Yeah.
"Never seen gold like this. Where it come from?"
Our country. It's our currency. We're gonna have to go exchange it.
The barkeep holds on to the coin and says, "I can get it. Just get something for
No.
it," and just grabs a big tankard and just stomps it in front of Kalon and says, "There you go."
You're carrying that. I'm not helping you carry that.
That's fine. And he takes
Oh, tankard. You said tankard. Sorry.
Yeah.
For some
he
reason,
takes
I
it-
thought
he-
it was like a pig.
Like a fish tank.
Well, if I'm sure it's a big one because of the area, and he takes the big old thing and he just downs it.
The barkeep has at this point just kind of moved on to other people and is yelling at them,
Okay.
and everybody is yelling at each other around here. There's a lot of people though, a lot of different kind of people. You do
Right.
not see, you did not ask it, but you did not see any Warforged drinking grog around here.
Right. Okay.
I'll give you that
It
for
looks-
free.
It looks like there are no inns.
Yeah.
Maybe we should head to like the
Maybe the money exchange place will know better. is good grog, and he slams the empty mug back on the counter upside down as he has this froth in his mustache, and he wipes it off.
Are you gonna leave the place? Because it's also pretty loud if you want to have like a conversation about what you're gonna do.
Well, I'm thinking about like how we're gonna get in an apartment, because that kind of seems like what we're headed towards. Is like we need to find a place to stay that's not an inn.
Well, there's got to be somewhere because they have so many trade ships. They have people coming in, so there's got to be somewhere. Unless everyone's staying on the ship, which I don't believe.
Again, maybe money exchange place knows.
Maybe, yeah. Oh, and we're gonna have to use the one right near the ship. Never. All right. Shouldn't ever use the money exchange place. That's like the first one you see. All right. Is there, because we're right by the harbor, is there like immediately any sign for money exchange?
This is like one of the first expeditions, isn't it?
It is.
So
Yes, that's
there
a
be
good
a money
point.
exchange?
Not for our currency, if there is one.
You have not seen any signs of any currency exchanges or anything.
Are we gonna have
of
to
such
get
a mark?
fucking jobs?
We could introduce ourselves to the local leader.
Hold on. So, the ambassador did mention, like in passing last time, that and you were also told that you are getting a salary, you know, and you were kind of told in passing and between the lines that the ship is going to be providing you money, and that they have a lot of treasures from back home, and that they're going to be exchanging that to local currency. So in other words, if you want to be looking for some money, you should go back to your ship.
Okay, then yeah. Why did they not give us money before we... Okay.
I assumed that happened while we were all waiting on the ship, to be honest. But
Okay, we go back to the ship. It's been, what, an hour and a half since we left?
Something like that.
We say, excuse us. We forgot to ask for money.
You're told to go and talk to. You're told to go and talk to Fula.
Fula?
Fula is somebody you have not necessarily really interacted with so far on the ship, but you know them. You find them. They're a gnome. You know that they are some sort of like quartermaster or treasurer or something. Like they're apparently the ones who kind of handle the money. And in fact, Grimhand told you that Fula is the one who gives you your salary.
Great.
So as you come over to Fula, he says, how can I help you?
we'd like to exchange what money we have for the local currency if possible. Or at least get some local currency if we can't exchange it.
He ponders for a moment and says, are you one of the teams?
We're Team C.
Who pulls out a big ledger and kind of starts flipping through pages really quickly and says, Your salary is not ready yet. I'm sorry. It's next week you're getting it. Sorry. We're not ready
That's why
yet.
we'd like to exchange the money we have for the local currency if possible.
Oh yeah, that's what I want to do as well. That's yeah. Can you help me with that?
I was hoping you could help us with it.
I take out the 15 gold I have and put it on the table.
Tula looks at the gold and says, no thanks, I don't need that. I'm working on that. That's my job. I promise you, in 1 week, we'll have the money. We'll be able to pay you. But right now, I don't have any. Sorry. You'll have to make do with.
You have no clue how to exchange our money that we currently have for the local currency?
Yes, of course. Yeah. We are making a deal with the Duke, the Duke's palace. We're going to be transporting some of our treasures over to them. They're going to be. They've got some banks around here. They're going to be providing us with some coins in exchange. Of course, there's going to be gifts given, gifts received, all that kind of stuff. We're going to trade this and trade that, and we're going to be exchanging a lot of money around here. And in 1 week, we'll have your salaries. Don't worry.
As for money right now,
It'll
though,
be fine.
Can we go to a bank and exchange our currency there? You said there was banks.
Well, yes, but this is the first trade expedition to this place, you see. So there's diplomatic barricades for us, some bureaucracy. We need to make sure that everything's okay. I don't think you can just walk to a bank and expect them to exchange anything for you. I mean, that's gold. That's genuine gold you have there, so it's still worth its weight, but I don't know if people around here are going to be accepting it. It's going to be on a case-by-case basis, I suppose. You need to figure out if they'll want the coins. Maybe you can explain them as exotic treasure or something. But I don't really know how to help you right now. You should just try with what you have. Maybe somebody will be happy to take it.
Question 2. In the tavern, was there anyone gambling? In the very loud, raucous tavern.
You did not see anybody. It was mostly because it was really crowded. Like you could
Right.
barely get through the crowd, and it seems like people were really just there. As far as you can tell, what they were doing was they were drinking grog and yelling. that was kind of the pastime of that place.
Right.
You did not see any evidence,
All right.
but you also didn't see any evidence that there wouldn't be gambling.
Fula, I have a question for you. How are you spending money here? Like, what are you buying? Are you just not buying anything until you also get paid next week?
Fula says, I am living here right now. We've got the rations here, everything. I've got my job here. I'm guarding the treasury here on the ship. It's my job to be here. Now, well, what do you need the money for to begin with?
For anything. I mean, what about food, clothes, places to sleep? I mean, we are supposed to be experiencing the culture here. You figured we want to be ingrained with it.
Yeah, yes, that makes a certain sort of sense. Well, you have your clothes on. That is fine. And
We can't
you have this.
we can't find hostel.
No, that's interesting. Where have you been looking?
We've looked around a little bit. But it doesn't seem like anyone knows what an inn is here. So.
I see. Maybe it's just in this area, maybe further in the city. I haven't been there, but as far as I've heard that there's some finer residences up north. I think the dark area here where we are is a bit rowdy, and I wouldn't expect to find any inns around here or any finer places to eat or such either.
People in
let
town.
me think.
Got it.
Yeah, let me think what I've heard. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know. I've mostly been hearing stories about the Duke's Palace. It's up by the cliff, by the way, if you ever need to go.
Right.
I mean,
So you're
I'm
not
sure
buying
they have
anything
guest
for the
rooms.
week? You have no local currency yourself as well?
No. As I said, I live here on the ship. We've got our, we have the rations here, and everything. It's
Okay.
same as the previous weeks we've had so far. It's all the
Five?
same to me.
I have a question. When
Hmm?
we were having the meeting with the ambassador, they said that the other expedition that they lost contact with, they set up I had written down they set up a meeting with the local government. They set up a meeting with the Duke.
Yeah, I think that's what you were told.
Okay. And then I also went over that the communication stuff that we were given from them. Was that like one of the last things that they said, that they were going to go talk to the Duke?
No, one of the last things that they said was that they got the okay that it's yes we can come here.
Sorry, can you rephrase that?
That they made the deal with the Duke. That the Duke said that yes, they would want the Livonians to come and visit.
Oh, I see. They arranged for a second party to make the trip.
Yeah, because the previous expedition was basically just some random people who came along.
Right.
And they just happened to then the Empire was kind of interested in the trip, and they convinced them to ask around and figure out if they would maybe be interested in a more formal talks, formal negotiations, and that's what this trip is.
Okay. How were they communicating with that team?
You have not been told.
That's not in the records that we have? How they were communicating?
No, because you also haven't seen official records. You've seen summaries of what's been told, let's say.
Right, okay, got it. Would these summaries give us any indication of how often they were communicating with these people?
Not very often. No, not necessarily. What are you getting at?
So I want to know what happened to them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure. I was just thinking how it relates
it's
to
this
this
scary
moment.
keep. It's also this scary keep. They mentioned the Duke and how you said guest rooms as if we could go up to the Duke and just ask to stay there.
I didn't say that. Fula said that.
Okay. Fula said, yes, that's fair. Fula said that the Duke had guest rooms, as if we could just go up and ask to stay.
Reminder, NPCs don't always know what they're talking about.
Yeah, I know. I was not betting on the nicer part of town knowing what inns are when the rest of the city does not. All right. Should we just chill on the ship for a week? Is that a crazy idea?
It's definitely not crazy. It seems like our option at this point, unless we want to go further in the city and see. But it doesn't seem like anyone knows what it actually even is.
Yeah.
We're supposed to get to know the government, right? Shouldn't we say hi to the Duke?
I guess it's just what do we say to him? We could. I mean, do we just roll up to that big scary keep and say, that big castle on the hill? Say
Can't hurt.
hi. I guess, yeah. Yeah. You know what? Fine.
We could go through as we're going through town towards keep. We could find establishment.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I guess we'll walk up to the Duke's castle and on the way be on the lookout for inns that we can't pay for.
I mean, she said they might take them, and she did buy beer with what we had. So it's not impossible for us to pay for something. But it's
All right.
not 100% either, so...
Also, reminder that I'm just kind of pointing this out so that you don't get too like tunnel visioned and laser focused. Your other thing is also that you could also try and find a more permanent solution. So an inn is not necessarily your final destination here. So you probably shouldn't just ask around for like inns and places to sleep for one night.
Yes, we could also be looking for apartments for rent.
Yeah.
But we don't have money. Like, I don't know if gold's gonna fly with a permanent apartment or something like that. I mean, we could ask. It can't hurt to ask,
we can
but...
ask.
So, is the plan then to?
And in exchange for stay, we could work.
Yeah. All right, step one, let's go talk to the Duke. Say hi, or talk to the guards at the front gate.
Yeah.
Which is what I expect is going to happen.
The good correction. That you're just gonna walk up there and be like, hello. All right.
Yeah, do we have anything to prove we're ambassadors at all?
Yeah. Great point.
Well, first of
We are
all,
technically here to meet them.
first of all, no. You don't have any like official documentation or anything like that. You don't think you'll be getting any. But also, as far as you can tell, so far they've already been like in communication with the Duke's Palace and so on, and you speak like the others speak, and you look like the others look, so they'll probably know that you're like of this group. So they probably don't expect you to be some sort of random people from the Guild of Murderers.
All right. So I guess maybe.
Not saying the Guild
angle...
of Murderers exists, but.
I guess we'll go up there, and I guess our angle is going to be if we can arrange a meeting with the Duke, because we'd like to. Because our mission is about documenting Armavent culture, and getting a feel for the local government is important for that. So we'd like to have a meeting with him. I guess is the angle we'll pitch with them, and see if that'll work.
Sounds good.
As we walk up to the castle, how are things like shift in terms of architecture and culture and stuff? Because we're moving from like the lower income to the higher income side of things.
Yeah, so you... Well, first of all, you can tell, you can like obviously see up there, you can see the fortress on top of the cliff. So the difficult part isn't necessarily to know where that is, but rather to know how to kind of get there. So I assume that you will have to ask for directions along the way. And you do find out that you have to walk a fair bit to get up there. Like you can't just go straight west and just up, because you'll have to kind of go around. Somebody starts like if you start asking for directions, somebody points you to like towards Low Street, and they say that from there you can get up the stairs to the High Green, and then follow Fortress Road all the way to there. So those are kind of the directions you end up finding out about, but then trying to find these actual like big streets among all the buildings and houses is difficult, so it takes a while. That said, things don't change too much while you're like on kind of the lower part of the town before you go up on the hill. Things don't change too much. Like the general kind of people that are around changes. This seems to clearly be mainly just like residential stuff around here. No longer are there like warehouses and dock stuff and such. No sailors running around in the streets. So in that sense, it does seem like it's going like higher up in hierarchy, but at the same time, the buildings don't change too much. It's the same kind of deal here as well, where it seems like a lot of buildings are being upgraded to fit more people in them, which kind of creates the same sort of sense to all of it. Things do take a change when you get up those stairs and you arrive at what was said to be the High Green, because there you can clearly see that this is some sort of area with like a lot of nobility and whatever, like high class people, because the buildings become larger, more fancy. They are no longer being like overbuilt in a way. They seem to be very purpose built as they are, and you start seeing like big mansions and other like fancy buildings around here. And you also see that the people around here seem to be of the more upper classes. And you also see that they so far people have been looking at you and have been staring at you, being like, you look like foreigners and strangers. But now they are looking at you like you're poor people. Like this, you definitely get the sense that this is the kind of the part of the town where you're not expected to be. You're not. People don't really want to see you here. In that sense, there's nobody like stopping you or anything, but that does happen. Something to take note of, by the way, that you have noticed as you've walked around the city a little bit, is that there's actually a lot of guards around here. Like you would say that there's much more than you would expect, and especially I think Arya would be like the specialist in this sense, being able to say that like there's far more people working guarding the streets than they would need to be.
And that was like in general, or mainly just for like the nobility, like upper class part?
In the whole city. In the whole city.
Okay.
Is there any difference in like the hair colors at all as we get higher?
No. You do notice that people are still dyeing their hair, and you have yet to see a single elf who hasn't had their hair dyed and that diamond on their forehead. And it seems like it's from the bottom to the top in terms of social class. Everyone's doing it. So do you just continue on towards the Duke's Palace, or do you want to chat with any locals about anything?
I don't know if they're gonna talk to
Along,
us brokies here, so
though, during our travels, did we see any places that seemed like some sort of housing? You stated that, you know, this is a more residential area. We walked through a more residential area. Is there a place that had signage that said places for rent? Vacancy available?
No, you haven't seen any signage like that. Would you have wanted to maybe ask some people about if there's anything?
Yes.
Yeah, because I feel like it's probably going to be a good idea to talk to a lot of people rather than look for random signs in random places where they may or may not be. So you we can say you talk to this is back down in the lower parts of the city. You talk to let's say it's a random elf commoner that you talk to. So what do you ask them?
Where would one find place to buy somewhere to stay?
The elf says, I know they're building a lot of new housing around here, so there might be some places where there might be room for you. I'm sorry, my place, I don't have any room. My family is big already. We don't really have the space, but you could ask around here. Maybe on Green Street. That could be an idea. If you're looking for just something temporary, maybe more towards the outer gates of the city. There, of course, you could find something just for the night. But if you're looking for something more permanent, maybe Green Street is where I would start looking at least.
What direction is Green Street?
They explain to you that it's there's the stairs to the High Green, and if you just continue on north, you'll be on Low Street, and then you take a right and you'll be on Green Street. It's where the old Low Green was.
is there signage anywhere that we could know, like the streets? Or is it just local knowledge? You end up knowing the street names?
Yeah, I mean, you can just ask people. We're friendly people. We'll tell you.
Thank you.
Kalon will make mental note of that and then continue on.
Okay, well, eventually you do end up then, as you're continue heading on towards the Duke's Palace. You follow along Fortress Road as you were told. And here you can actually see that the fortress that you were kind of apparently thinking you were going to doesn't seem like it is the Duke's palace, because right next to the fortress is what looks like an opulent palace. So it seems like it was kind of behind the fortress is where the Duke's palace would be, and the fortress is just some sort of other thing. If you've asked any locals, they would have told you that is Fort Belethor. But eventually,
Where we... Go on.
yeah, eventually you eventually end up at close to the Duke's palace there, and I guess you go and approach the guards instead of just running through. And
I killed the
listen-
guards.
All right. We'll roll for initiative after the break.
Kidding.
But yeah, you'll approach the guards. But let's take a break now, and we'll come back, and then we'll talk to the guards. So let's be back in 10 minutes. All right. In general, by the way, if anyone wants to like know more about some of the stuff I've got planned for their characters, let me know. If you want to be surprised, then you can be surprised. I've prepared quite a bit already for everybody since last week's stuff. And interestingly enough, actually, I actually kind of integrated everybody's stuff to stuff that I had already had planned. So it all kind of fit in, except for one person. One person's stuff is kind of completely its own thing, and I had to kind of create it from scratch. And had no plans of having that part of it all, but now it's in.
I'm curious who that is, but I won't ask. So because if it's someone else's
I won't
stuff,
tell. I won't tell. But anyways, so we're all back, and you have just arrived at your first encounter with some local guards. And you went to the top and talked to the guards at the Duke's palace. Who wants to go ahead and approach them? By the way, at this point, you're all kind of looking like, random vagrants, because you're just carrying all your stuff around, lugging them around town. So just to remind you of what you kind of look like as a group.
Yeah. God, I wish we had our charming half elf with us.
Yeah, he'd be pretty good right now.
He'd be good right now. He'd be very helpful right now.
I guess
I mean,
I'll
I think,
go up and...
yeah, I think in this particular situation, Arya is probably quite a good pick for dealing with these people.
Yeah. Hello there. We are the diplomatic party from Livernia. We were hoping to introduce ourselves to the Duke.
The guard. There's two guards standing at the gate. There's no actual like gate. It's like an open. There's an arch made of some sort of greenery and flowers and such. So it's quite fine looking at and the whole palace behind it is actually quite fine looking and impressive in on itself. But there's two guards and one of them responds to you and says, "Oh, very good. May I see your invitation, please?"
We don't have any paperwork as of right now, to be honest. But we have sent word that we were coming.
The guard looks at the other one and says, I see. Yes, we have had delegations from Livonia here already. But I would still need to see your invitation, please.
Can I do an intimidation check?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know how it works on Roll20. Can I just push intimidation, like click on it in my
Yep.
thing, and it rolls
Yeah.
for it? Okay. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure before I did anything.
Yeah. So what are you saying to them?
I'll say, well, as a person who guards people and nobility myself, I think this is very unprofessional of you, and when we do speak to the Duke, I will definitely be having a word with him about this unpleasantry.
I see. So you want to see the manager? That's your goal here. But yeah, go ahead and roll it.
26.
She crit.
All right. All right. The guard looks at Arya and says, "Of course, yes. The policy says that. Let me, Gaffer. You stay here. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go ask the captain. Please.
Good decision.
Please wait here. I will ask the captain." And the guard heads off further into the palace, and the other one just kind of stands there. They seem a little bit like you get the sense that they are a little bit surprised that they are now alone here with you.
The first roll of the campaign.
That's crazy. In my other campaign, I just got a natural 1 and died, so
Oh no.
pretty good turnaround on my luck here.
Woof. A moment later, the guard hasn't returned yet, but you notice that somebody is walking over towards the gate from the inside. They're a human woman in like their 20s, seems to be dressed like some sort of nobility. Has a very, very fancy looking sword on her hip. Yeah, blonde, long hair and such, and she walks over. She kind of scans the area, looks around, and from a little ways away, she says to the other guard, "Where's Ramsay?" And the other guard says, he went to look for the captain. This is a delegation from Livonia, and they don't have an invitation, but they want to get inside. How may I help you, my lady?" And the human woman says, I see," and turns over to you people and approaches you and says, and kind of gives a courteous bow to you, and says, "I'm glad to meet you. I'm Zirel. How may I assist you? You do not have an invitation?"
I also do a polite bow back and say, "Unfortunately, no, we were never given one. So our apologies that we do not have one on us at the moment. But we wanted to stop by and do introductions before our official meeting."
She bows again and says, I am Zirel. Please introduce yourselves then.
I am Arya, and these are my companions. Go ahead.
Kalon.
Talia.
I'm Artie.
She gives you one more bow and says, I am pleased to meet you all. You've made a long voyage to come here. I'm sorry about the lack of hospitality here. Unfortunately, even I cannot bend the rules. They are in place for a reason, and without an invitation, entry to the Duke's Palace is forbidden. She looks at the other guard and says, don't worry, I will take care of them. She turns to you and says, would you like to walk with me? I am heading towards the library, and perhaps we can talk on the way.
I would love to, and I don't mean to sound rude, but may I ask what your position is here, or what you do around the court of the Duke's Palace?
She says, oh, silly of me. Sorry, I did not even realize I had not properly introduced myself. I am the Duke's daughter.
Well, it's very nice to meet you, and yes, I would love to take a walk with you, as well as my companions.
Very well. Let us be on then. So she starts leading you back towards where you came from, and she says, "Well then, you, as said, you have come from a long way away. I would like to hear more of your lands, Livernia, and I believe you were from the Empire of Koltin, if I understand correctly. A powerful empire, is it right?"
Correct, yes. Anything in particular that you would like to know?
Oh, what do you think is most important to know about your lands?
That we are very unified, I think is very important. At least it's very important to me that we are a very peaceful and unified empire.
Interesting. How large is the empire?
Very large. It's, I'd say, a bit bigger than here, if I had to say. Based on what I've seen. Although this is...
She says, what do you mean by here? Do you mean Lindvale or...
I'd say it's maybe like 80% the size of Armavin.
She says, oh.
Right? Because it
80,
extends...
80%?
Right, because Unified Koltin encompasses the Orc lands to the south and everything east of the mountains, right?
Yep.
Okay, then yeah, like 80% of Armavin.
She says that is huge.
Yeah.
How do you govern all of that?
I'm looking around to our party at like any of us would know how people govern it.
Well, we're unified under our Rosaria, our leader. So
yeah. Oh yeah. Let's start talking up the Empress.
I would.
She's amazing. Her excellency, her radiance.
She says, I see. I guess then in comparison, our little city here must seem so small to you.
Oh no, your city's beautiful. It's got so much more going on than I wasn't really sure what I was expecting, but there is so much to see and do here, and we would love to know more about, well, Armavin in general, but also this city. Like, I mean, it seems like y'all have districts.
She
as
says,
starting.
well, yes, there's certainly different parts to the city. Much of it, of course, has been around here for a while, so it's evolved the way it has. Of course, recently, much of it has to have been repaired.
Why
And
is
you have
that?
all these. And you have all these. Oh yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, so no, sorry.
Why does it have to been repaired? Oh, the Drow Wars.
Yeah, she says, oh, I understood that the Drow had attacked you as well. Am I
Yes,
wrong?
that is true.
For context, for you, the Drow Wars ended like 20 years ago. So it's not like so recent as she seems to be implying.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a kid when the Drow Wars ended, but they went on for a long time before me. So, I mean, you can still see some of the remnants of their effect in our lands.
Zerel looks at Talia and says, you said when you were a child. I do not mean to be rude, but what are you?
Oh, I am of a race called the Tabaxi, and our lifespan is about the same as humans. I'm 34, and our Drow Wars ended about 20 years ago. So I was a kid. I remember them, but I was in the capital city. So
Zerel says, 20 years ago. Oh, how did you manage to do it? How did you fight back the Drow?
Her Radiance, Unified Koltin. The Drow took a divide and conquer kind of approach, and once we came together, then we were able to force them back, and they also, after the Drow Wars ended, it took them a while, but they ended up closing all of the entrances and exits to the Underdark, so it's no longer a threat.
She seems really kind of amazed about all of this, and she says, wow, the power of the Empire must truly be magnificent if you were able to do all of this. And so early on, we were only able to fight back the Drow, and remnants, of course, still exist out there. But, at the end fort, or Billithol is still struggling. But we were only able to fight back truly after Magus Black was able to start supplying us with the Warforged. They were the true heroes of the war for us. And without Magus Black, I don't know where we would be. We would probably still be fighting the Drow. And I don't know if Lindvale would have survived so long.
Yes, we saw the Warforged on the docks, actually. Very impressive, if I do say so myself. The technology and magic that's probably involved in that must be... It's quite impressive.
You also see, by the way, Warforged. You do see some of them around here in the with the noble district as well. They seem to be a lot of the time kind of standing guard around here. In addition to the like guards. Zero says, yes, I must admit I'm not very, very versed in the details of how Magus Black does it. He's truly a genius, and we are blessed to have him here in our city, and providing us with the Warforged, and continuing to provide us with them even to this day.
Is he not part of the court? I would have assumed he, after supplying you guys with the Warforged for a war, he'd be high-ranking. Is he just a person who lives in the city?
No, he's the head of the Majorum.
Okay.
Of course, he visits the Duke's palace often enough, but he's the head of the Majorum. That is where they create the Warforged as well.
I see.
But as said, it's not exactly anything I'm too versed in, so I would change the subject, in fact. And I wanted to know what was it that you were looking for at the palace when you were trying to approach?
Well, like I said, we truly do want to introduce ourselves to the Duke prior to our formal introduction. Better you know each other, I think, is, these things go more smoothly. But also, we were curious about lodgings and places for us to stay at the time being. It does not seem like you guys have inns like we do back at our home.
Zero says, well, I mean, Ambassador Valar has been at the Duke's palace several times, and can surely get an invitation for you as well if you ask through her. Though I do not know if my father is truly the person to ask about lodgings. I'm sure you will also meet him later on. In fact, I've heard that they've been planning some sort of grand banquet for your whole delegation to visit. And perhaps you will be able to meet my father then. But when it comes to lodgings, we do have inns, yes. We do have inns around the city. They are mostly out by the gates. I don't really frequent them myself much, but I do know there's an inn by the Duke's Gate at least, and I know the Merchants Guild by the Traders Gate in the east. It's quite large, and I believe they have lodgings there as well.
Well, thank you. Very valuable information. So I very much appreciate that, and how kind to be setting up a banquet as well. Very, very kind on your guys' part. Very much appreciated.
The party sounds fun.
Zirel turns to Kalon and says, excuse me again, I do not wish to sound rude, but you are of the Underdark, are you not?
Da.
Your companion just said that the Underdark was cut off, though. Have you lived on the surface for long?
Da. I am probably oldest in group. I'm 56. Been on surface 25, 30 years.
I see. Well, I do not mean to sound pry too much into anything, but do you consider the surface to be your home, or do you feel like you've lost something if all the entrances to the Underdark are gone in Livonia?
Am what called troubadour. I like travel.
I see. Of course, that is understandable. I'm somewhat of a wandering spirit myself. I like going out into the countryside every now and then.
Though I'm good at finding things. If lost, something we'll find.
Oh, that sounds like a very, very useful talent to have. If you're looking for any work to be done, then perhaps the Outriders could use you if they need something to be found in the city.
Sorry, did you say the Outriders?
Yes, the Outriders, yes. Their guild is likewise near the Duke's Gate. Actually quite close to the inn that I mentioned.
It's good to know.
She says, I would like to hear more about your lands, though. Please regale me with a tale.
Well, I had a question about your lands as well. But you asked us what we find valuable in our country. What about you? What do you find valuable or unique about Arvivin?
Oh, well, I suppose in a way we have our own unity around here. Since even though we are not all under the government of one person like in your lands, we do all share the belief in the Phoenix, though.
Forgive my ignorance, I do not know of that.
You can actually do a religion check if you want.
Sure.
Because I'm pretty sure you would have actually you have that as a proficiency as well.
I do, but I only got a 12.
Yeah. So yeah, you've at this point, of course, your knowledge will be limited a little bit as well. But you do know as much that you have read in the books that you've read that there is some sort of like you've heard of this Phoenix, and as far as you've heard, it seems like it's like some sort of like one god that they have here on this continent that kind of everybody you've understood that everybody kind of bows down to this one god in a way, but now that you're talking to Zirel, it doesn't seem quite like that. And yeah, she then says to you, oh, the Phoenix. Well, again, unfortunately, you've caught me in a topic I'm not too well versed in myself. I would suggest you go talk to the church themselves about these things. But simply enough, the Phoenix is a sort of shared belief we have around here. As the spirit of the continent, in a way. Arvivin is called the Phoenix Continent, and it is something that is part of our lives. It governs the way we think about things. Again, I'm not the best to talk about this, though.
Is that the only god you have here, or do people worship other minor gods?
Zero says, "Oh no! The Phoenix is not a god at all. We follow many gods, of course. Different deities, different people follow different deities, but the Phoenix is not a god.
Would you say it's more like a belief system that most people have in your country, or an ideal that most people have in your country?
I guess you could say it like that, yes.
If we wanted to know more, where's the church, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm sure you've seen it when you approached by ship. It is on one of the islands between in the bay. And you did see something that would probably be this.
Well, thank you so much for pointing us in the right direction. Still getting the lay of the land, I suppose.
She turns over to Artie actually, and she says, where are you from then?
Oh, from the capital, Farn Lawson.
She seems a little bit bemused. You're a little bit uncertain why she suddenly turns to Artie and starts talking to him, but she says, I see. You what is your role on this voyage?
I'm just here.
As you're actually talking to Zirel, suddenly you get a really strange feeling, Artie specifically, and kind of instinctively you look at her sword. You get a feeling that you just can't like describe or understand. There's something in your mind saying something, but you don't know what. But you just for a moment you kind of like stare at that sword and are sort of lost for a little second there, and then that strange feeling just kind of subsides. And Zirel says, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, okay. I mean, you must have had such a long voyage, and I'm sure you are getting tired if you've made your way all the way from your ship to the palace. I'm sorry that your journey was for naught, but hopefully you will find a place to rest soon. The library is just ahead over here, so I should be going. But it was very nice to meet all of you. And perhaps at the banquet we will meet again.
Do you know when that's going to be?
I don't know much about these kind of details. I just go where I'm told.
All right. Well,
thank you. It was very nice to meet you as well. And we will take our leave if nobody has anything else they want to wish to say.
Did the rest of us notice the weird vibe between Zirel and Artie, where like he like got 1,000-yard stare because the sword, or is that something that like really just happened on Artie's head?
You may have noticed it. I'll leave it up to you. And what you would have basically noticed is that Artie kind of zoned out for a second while having a conversation.
Right. Okay.
Before you go, miss, I had a question.
Yeah, certainly.
Is there some sort of cultural significance to the hair colors of the people here?
She says, oh, you don't know, of course. She also kind of looks at all of you, as far as I know, have pretty natural hair colors. She does too, by the way. Her hair is naturally blonde. But she says, oh, you did not know yet. Of course. It is a local custom. It's in style these days. It is a style about town. Everybody's dyeing their hairs, all kinds of colors. It's everybody from the highest high to the lowest low. It's everybody's latest fashion.
And what is the process of doing that? Like, how do you do? Where do you buy the supplies? Who does that for you?
You use various dyes. I guess the merchants have some, and you dye your hair. I don't really know the details of it. I just know people do it.
Okay.
You don't wish to partake in the in-style look at all?
She says, it's not really my part of my priorities. Of course, my father always makes sure that I stay, I look the part, but I do not really care too much about how I look to other people.
On that same note, the elves we've seen have like a diamond mark on their forehead. Is that also just fashion?
Zarel says, or thinks about it for a moment and says, yes, it is the latest fashion, yes.
Okay. It's just... trying to think if I have any questions for Zarel before we leave her.
Can I do like an insight check to see if she had any like ulterior motive or was trying to like prod in like a malicious way about our kingdom at all? Or not necessarily malicious, but in like a kind of like we are, like investigating certain stuff.
Sure. I'll let it slide this time, but in the future, you need to, if you want to do, you can do insight checks, and I do recommend, well, I kind of recommend doing insight checks on some NPCs when they're talking, but you'll have to do it when they're actually talking about the subject and not afterwards. So, but...
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, but it's fine now. You can roll for insight. But also, I do want to remind, just as a warning and reminder for everyone, about insight, because it's a powerful tool, but it can also go really wrong. Because I'm not going to tell you like what the DC is, so you don't know if you beat somebody's DC or if they are lying in the first place. So it's something where it can give you like the sense of what's going on, but don't. Yeah.
And insight's also not mind reading.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So take it with a grain of
There's a
salt
spell for that.
always. Yeah.
I got an 18.
So as far as you can tell, again, this is like your feelings, and of course, also this is something that happens inside of Arya's head, so nobody else technically knows it unless she decides to, share it. But as far as you can tell, like, it seems like she's pretty genuine about this stuff. She really did seem to just be curious about your lands. And as she said, like, she is kind of a adventuring type person, so it seems like she would be just genuinely interested in, like, exploration.
Okay.
So that specific part of the conversation seems like she was very genuine about it.
Okay.
But also, actually, for Arya specifically, you would know, you would have kind of experience about the fact that a person of her like statue would also likely you know that they speak a lot of, like, the nobility speaks a lot of, like, useless nonsense in a way. That there's a lot of, like, small talk that just happens just to be polite, and doesn't necessarily mean what they say in a way. But yeah, apart from that, the interest in your empire seemed to be genuine exploration interest.
Okay.
Are you letting her go?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna see her again at the party.
Mhm.
It's not like we
Unless-
can't get a hold of her. Unless she dies when she enters that library. We walk away and it blows up.
Maybe the Murderers Guild is there. Who knows?
He's well met, princess, and he turns around and walks off.
She gives you a courteous bow and says, "Well met. I hope we meet again."
I also bow and say, very much a pleasure to meet you. I hope to see you again. And also start walking off.
So you're now kind of at this little, like, square that is up above, on the high green. You can see the city down below, but you're still kind of in the noble district here. And you can, when you were with Zirel, you felt like people were accepting you more, because you got kind of the general sense that everybody was very much like, anytime they saw her, they would, smile and give a bow and stuff like that. So it seems like everybody knows who she is and holds her in some sort of regard. But the moment she left, now you immediately feel like the people are burning you with their eyes again, questioning what this rabble is doing here.
All right. Should we go to the place she's... are we still focused on finding an inn?
She said the Duke's Gate, right?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure they take our currency.
I'm curious about the
We could
Outriders Guild she mentioned.
We could
Let's
head
wait
towards
for
the Merchants Guild. Perhaps the Merchants Guild can.
So it's gonna be hard for you to really make accurate estimations at this point, but she did mention that the Trader's Gate was the eastern gate out of town. And you know that you are currently kind of at the western part of the city. So it would probably start to be pretty late in the evening that you are able to arrive at the eastern gate if you wanted to go all the way over there. Like, it's really far away. The Duke's Gate is much closer.
The Duke's Gate. We find room, we eat, we sleep, then go to Trader's Gate in the morning.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Sure. So are you looking for that inn that was mentioned?
Yeah, I guess we should do that.
All right. As you get down into the streets, in a low street, you again kind of, well, from up above you were able to kind of tell where the gate is. So it's, again, you have a bit of an idea of where you're going. But you're going through, you're heading north, and you're going through this larger marketplace. And as you're walking around, you suddenly hear a commotion, like somebody's yelling. And if you again turn around and start looking at what's going on, you see that there's a merchant who's yelling like, "Thief! Stop! That thief!" The merchant is selling, seems to be selling some of fruits. And the thief is running, but suddenly they just kind of freeze entirely in place. Like completely frozen in place. And you can see a nearby guard is holding up their hand, and they have a ring that is glowing brightly. And the guard is just kind of pointing at the thief with that ring. And you see another guard with them. This one brings up a little like monocle type thing, and kind of looks around and just puts it away. And the guards go up to the thief and release the spell they had on the thief, and start apprehending them.
Are they the only guards we see in our immediate vicinity?
No. This is a busy marketplace, so you actually see quite a lot of them.
So do they all have these rings?
Well, now that you're paying attention, you do notice that some of them do. Not all of them.
Okay.
But some of them do, and some of them do seem to be carrying other strange-looking items.
Is that those strange-looking items? Are those, like, looking around this merchant's area? Are there magic items for sale, like generally, or is that
not in this? This is like market stalls. Nothing around here that would be.
I'm gonna go up to not the guard that's busy apprehending someone, because I don't want to disturb them, but I'm gonna go up to a guard with a ring or other items like that, and I'd like to talk to them.
Sure.
Excuse me, I don't mean to bother you. I just saw your colleague use a magic item, and it seems like you all have matching ones. Where do you get those?
The guard straightens up a little bit and says, "Yes, thank you for the compliment. Of course, the Magirium provides us with the tools of the trade so that we can keep peace around town. That criminal right there, they'll be taken over to Cold Iron. Don't worry.
Okay.
You're safe. You're safe around here."
Thank you, sir. And but the magic items that appear to have spells stored in them, that's you have all sorts of things like that. It's not just the ring with what looked like whole person.
The guard says, "Oh, we have plenty of tools to protect the citizens. So you do not need to worry about that."
Okay.
The Magirium makes sure that you are all safe.
Does the Magirium sell things like that, or is it just to provide to you?
That is a good question. I, of course, we receive them from our captains and such, but one could, I suppose, go and ask the Magirium about that. I do not know if they sell anything, though. They must be so busy with the Warforged. But there's no harm in asking, I suppose. The Magirium's quite close by, so you could always go there.
Oh, it is? Where would that be?
Oh, just head on north here. You hit Church Street. You head east, and before Gentry Bridge, you don't cross the bridge, but right on the right side, you'll see the Magirium. It's the big tower. In fact, you can see it right over there.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
No problem. Again, don't worry. We will keep you safe. Criminals like this, straight to Cold Iron.
Yes.
How much time will he be doing at Cold Iron, do you think?
Well, I'm no judge, so I don't know. We're just told to take them to Cold Iron, to the prison. If you ever leave.
Are punishments usually pretty harsh to petty criminals?
Stealing fruit.
Yeah.
The guard says, well, any crime must be punished, of course. We cannot let criminals roam around the city like that.
I'm loving this big warning to us not to shoplift.
The guard says, why do you seem so curious about this? Is there something you have going on?
Well, I agree that. Well, I agree criminals should be punished, but stealing an apple seems harsh for. Like, if it's a long punishment, that seems kind of harsh. Could be stealing it because they're starving, though.
The guard says,
Surely there's...
Again, I am no judge. Perhaps you should ask them rather than me. But we have our orders. We take them straight to Cold Iron, and that's where my responsibility ends.
Understood.
All right. Goodbye, Valjean.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, once we're out of earshot of the guard, Kalon kind of pipes up and says, "Remember, we are in new place. New place has new laws."
Indeed they do. That's why I'm trying to learn about them. Wouldn't be a bad idea to learn about them, that's for sure. Don't want to be
Yeah.
accidentally breaking laws, especially if you get sent straight to jail. So, by the sounds of it.
Okay, let's continue on with
Let's
what
see.
we were doing.
And Kalon,
Sorry.
Kalon gives like a partial shit-eating grin, and it's like, that's if you get caught.
Well, if you do get caught, they can literally freeze you in place, so do keep that in mind. They do have magic items on them as well.
Yeah.
So
and
do
just
not get
for
caught.
yeah, just for context, so back at home, in Farnlawson, there's a city guard, of course, keeping peace. But they are, first of all, not generally equipped with random magic items that can just, freeze someone in place. There's also not this many guards around, and people don't generally get thrown into jail right away for whatever they do. And you also have not heard anyone describe a prison as being a place where few come out of it. So all of this does indeed raise red flags for all of you, and raise a lot of questions about what's going on. It's also not anything that was mentioned in any of the texts that you read about. So either this is something that just slipped, you just didn't know about it, or it's something very recent.
Well, if it's recent, that could be a reason for increased guards, so... Or a lot of guards around, at least.
So, are you heading towards the inn or the Majorium, or what was the plan then?
I'd say we continue towards the end. That is, unless I'm sorry, Kate, what's your character's name again?
Talia.
Talia. I was 90% sure it was Talia, but I didn't want to say Talia and mix it up with
Arya.
Arya. Yes.
Yeah, we I met you last week, and we did not coordinate what we would name our characters, and we ended up with very similar names. Oops. Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. So you keep on heading towards the inn, and yeah, you end up there. So this inn is so you were at like a pretty big market square already, but now this is an even bigger market. You see a little church there on the side. You can actually see that on the other side of it all, there is a river and a bridge, and you can see the tower, the magic tower over there. But on the other side of it all, on the side you're on, there is indeed some sort of building with, which seems to be actually quite large and quite grand. And it seems to be that you see some signs that seem to be indicating that it might be a place where you can indeed find some lodgings.
Finally.
You go in?
Yes.
So first of all, now we're saying it's about like all in all, how long have you been on this journey? It's gonna be like 5 p.m. kind of time at this point. And I imagine all of your characters are probably hungry at this point. So you enter this this place, and there is some sort of reception there, and behind it is you can see a middle-aged human man standing there, and he kind of looks you over and says, and just kind of says, yeah.
We would like something to eat and a room if you have one open, or 4 rooms, if possible, depending on the price.
5 rooms.
Or 4 rooms.
No, isn't he with us?
Yeah, Erevan's with you as well.
Oh, right.
Silently in the back.
Yeah, he's not here. Yeah. 5 rooms.
The innkeeper says, yeah, we got room. We don't serve food here, though.
Okay, good to know. Thank you. How much for the rooms?
Yeah, you on 5?
Depending on the price.
How long?
We'll do it on a nightly basis so far.
The innkeeper seems to kind of look you up and down and says, 20 gold.
And as a reference point, because we're new here, I'm trying to think of like a normal item I can ask him, like what it normally costs. To, like,
I mean,
try and get
from like your home,
conversion
you would be expecting that these rooms would be like max a gold a night per room.
Yeah.
So it'd be like 5 gold. That would be like something you could expect the price to be.
Okay.
Considering like the location and the size and everything.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a high price.
Yeah. Should we maybe just chill on the ship for a week?
Yeah, I don't know if I want to spend 20 gold.
I'm not spending all my gold on this. That's not happening. If he'll even take our gold.
The innkeeper says, yeah, what are you mumbling about?
The prices of the room seem a little bit expensive. So
Yeah.
we might take our business elsewhere, I suppose, unfortunately. But
Yeah, I see. Busy time
Thank
in
you.
town. Not gonna find any cheaper.
Okay.
that's okay. I think we might have a place where we can end up staying after all.
Is he trying to basically make us pay more because we're foreigners?
I think that's basically what's happening, yeah.
Probably. He probably knows that you don't know any better.
So, do we want to head back to the ship then and just stay there for the week until we actually get money?
Yep, I'm thinking that's the best call.
Weren't we told we shouldn't stay at the ship? Slash couldn't?
Yeah.
Also, would you want to stay at the ship?
I don't want to, but I'd rather.
Friend, we may not be around here, but that is a little too expensive.
The innkeeper says, yeah, like I said, it's a busy week in town. Can't expect any better rates if your travelers just passing through. You gotta pay your price.
Any particular reason why it's busy in town, or just it is?
The innkeeper, you're none of you need to even roll insight. All of your passive insights are going to be well above enough to clearly tell that this innkeeper is right now about to tell you a big lie, and the innkeeper says, market week.
Right.
Okay, well,
How about
you're
this?
lying, so.
How about this? And he reaches into his pouch and he puts 10 gold on the counter. Fancy foreign gold. This should be enough.
The innkeeper takes one of the gold pieces and says, huh. Where's this from?
Livernia. Far southeast.
Never heard of it.
We'll be first to have. We are new to town.
Don't really know about this coin. Looks counterfeit. Looks fake. You got any local coin?
Not yet.
Well, tell you what. I am a generous man. If you have anything else to trade, perhaps you have something we can barter with. Your gold, I don't wish to risk it. Looks suspicious, strange. I know my coins.
I have absolutely nothing. Nothing interesting. Saying this to the above the table.
He'll take it. He'll scoop it. He'll scoop his money back, and then lay one of his hand axes on the counter.
The innkeeper picks up the axe and just kind of looks at it and is like, puts it down and says, you people do you not have anything of value?
Got a book.
Got my sparkling personality.
Books
We could
don't
help.
interest
We
me.
could help. We could help. We could help around in. Outside that, no. And he takes his hand axe back.
Yeah, the innkeeper says, I got all the help I need around here.
I feel that if the ambassador tells us we can't stay at the boat, we're gonna say, give us money then, because like it's this situation where she's expecting us to just magically find a place to stay without any means, like we can't.
So,
I don't know how to do this.
So I mean, one thing that you're maybe not considering is the fact that you can always promise to pay later. Like if you know that you're going to be you're going to be getting money later, you can always, like, you know, I don't know, you can give them, you know, this book and all the stuff that you have as, like, you know, keep this and we'll pay pay later. And especially if you're looking for like an apartment to rent or something like that, that person would not necessarily expect you to have a pouch of money to give right away, and could possibly expect you to pay, you know, a little bit later. That's always a chance.
It's chance we pay you later.
Keeper says, how later?
A week at least.
Okay. Well, I mean, seeing as you've just shown me everything you have of value, and it was an axe. What are you exactly paying me from in a week? Are you here to rob a bank?
No, we're gonna get jobs here, but we need somewhere to stay in order to get those jobs and be able to pay you.
That doesn't sound too convincing to me. Sounds like
You
you're
said
just
you were a
random
generous guy. I was
vagrants.
taking you up on it, but it doesn't seem like you were very generous after all.
Well, I'm generous when I've got paying customers, but I don't. You don't convince me that you would be able to pay me in a week. Who would take you as workers? What kind of work do you do? Who are you people even? You look like a random bunch of, I don't know, vagrants.
Well, I'm ready to take my leave if you guys are.
Yeah, I don't. What exactly did the ambassador? She said we could not stay on the boat.
Well, she didn't tell you anything.
Right. Sorry, Grimhand.
Yeah.
Grimhand said we could not stay on the boat.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Do you have any churches
Were
or
we-
temples to
were-
Bahamut?
Were we told just as above the table reminder, were we told that we couldn't tell anyone outside of like we told the noble lady that we were a delegation from Livernia, you know, for kind of like peace talks or whatever. What are we allowed to? Are we not allowed to tell the normal people that we're
No, nobody
foreign
said that
delegates?
you wouldn't be allowed. You were just told that you shouldn't tell them about the Warforged stuff.
Yeah. And so Kaelon would kind of nudge Talia and be like, should we tell them we are delegate? We are here for purpose.
you say that to my character or Talia's character?
Talia.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, you suggested that we just be honest with him and tell him.
I mean, not.
Sorry.
Nothing's stopping us from telling them, hey, we're delegates from a foreign country. You should let us stay. I mean, we got basically government backing to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know why you would not say just straight up that you have a whole ship that is full of treasures over there, and that's kind of how
like,
you're getting the money.
I understand. It's like I guess I think Talia would also have this where she's thinking about it like these people. I wouldn't trust that someone's gonna pay me back later. I wouldn't, someone comes up to me and says that they have a bunch of gold on the ship, it's just not ready yet. I wouldn't trust, like, why would, so like the truth sounds ridiculous to them. So
Sure.
But we can try that. We can try it. I didn't think to try it because I didn't think it would work. Even though it is the
May
truth.
I make a persuasion roll to convince him that we are of a foreign delegate and we have a ship full of basically money waiting
Sure.
to be traded?
Sure. And I mean, you have already shown, like, that you have random, strange-looking money, so that's already like one part of convincing them about it. But yeah, go ahead. You can roll.
Actually, I have kind of a decent multiplier, but fucking, of course I roll a fucking 5.
The innkeeper says, it all sounds a little bit strange, but I guess if there's no other way to get rid of you people, then I mean, I could take you on for the offer, but I'm gonna have to raise the price a little bit. My security. You understand?
No, because
You
you're
could
already
act as
ripping us
secure-
off.
We could act as security for you.
the innkeeper looks at Arya and says, excuse me, but I'm the proprietor of this establishment. I'm the one who sets the price. I know what the price is. And I'm the expert here, I'm sorry, but that is just how it is. And 20 for 5 rooms, 1 night, that's a fair price. If you keep mouthing on, I'm going to raise it. But, as said, I am a generous man.
Very generous.
How about it? A whole week. You'll get the rooms for a whole week. And we say 200 gold.
How about just 2 rooms?
Some larger rooms, 5 beds. 150.
Not a better price.
One.
So you say you're not lying, and you're the expert and whatnot on the prices of the room and whatnot, right?
Math doesn't lie.
So, with your permission, Could I cast Zone of Truth on you, and then we can see if you're telling the truth, if this is a fair price. I mean, if you're so generous and you're being honest, shouldn't be a problem.
Oh, the innkeeper says, absolutely not. There's no casting magic in this place. That is against rules of the establishment.
Of course it is.
2 rooms, 150. Or 5 for 200. Good deal. Whole week. And I will expect payment in 7 days. Which one is gonna be? 2 rooms, 5 rooms, your choice.
Two rooms for 100 and you deal.
The innkeeper says, no. The 2 rooms is 150 gold. I'm not sure if you heard down there.
Can I... Hang on. I'm gonna... sorry. I'm gonna go up to him and like try and lay the charm on thick and use my pretty big cat eyes and do like the Puss in Boots like sad look and be like, sir, our weekly salary's not that high, and come on, you're not gonna turn away 100 gold, are you? Because we will be leaving here.
The innkeeper says,
can I make a persuasion roll?
Yeah, sure. The innkeeper says, told you people several times already. Now, my patience is running thin here. You say that you're good for it. You say that you have a ship full of treasure. Yet you can't pay at 200 gold for a week? Which one is it?
It's not all our treasure.
Look. 150 for the 2 rooms is a fair price. Because I am putting my trust in you that you will be paying me in a week's time. So I want you to work with me on this. Because I will turn down 100 gold, yes. Because I need to be paying my staff. They need to be paid. And if I don't get enough money, I'm losing money. Think about me. I've got a family.
Uh-huh.
I have 7 children.
Wow.
Well, that's your choice. You can't blame us for that. If you can't afford 7 children, don't have 7 children. Just saying.
The innkeeper says, final warning. 1 more, and you're thrown out. Now, do we have a deal? 150, 2 rooms. They're very nice rooms. You will love them. I promise, I guarantee you. You will love the rooms.
Can we inspect the rooms before we buy it then, if they're so good?
Certainly. We could go upstairs.
Perfect.
We lock ourselves in the room. No.
Yeah, I
so
go
the
upstairs.
innkeeper-
I take one on it.
Yeah, the innkeeper starts walking up and walks up two sets of stairs, and then walks over and points at 2 rooms there on the side and says, "These 2 are free. They're very good. You've got a view straight on the marketplace. You can see the Majorum up there. Very fancy building. You can see all the way to overlook all the beautiful views there. You're gonna love it. The beds, amazing."
Can
And
I check to see if the beds are actually amazing?
yeah, he opens up the door to the room, and it's a room with 2 beds, and the beds actually do, on first view, they do seem to be amazing.
I guess part of the problem I'm having here is that you guys don't even serve food here, right? So I gotta factor that in as well.
The keeper says, "Well, see, as you can see from the view of the room, the marketplace is right out there. You can just go out there. You can just buy your food."
You could also just serve food here. Just saying, for 150 gold. Just saying.
That's so much money.
So how about 100 gold because you don't serve
Kalon.
food here?
Kalon slips into Livernian.
Mm.
I think we should take it. It might be best, because we might have same struggle of convincing people of weird foreigners to let them stay.
Can't you disguise yourself? Could we try this somewhere else where you're disguised as a local? I say that in Livernian.
But with his I'm going to assume with as free as what's the word I'm looking for? Shoot. Liberal as they are with what appeared to be magic items. And he reminds him of the one guard with the with the glass. If they can hold somebody with a magic item, sure the eyeglass was to see if anyone was disguising themselves.
That's fair.
The innkeeper is kind of impatiently tapping his foot, and he says, "Right, look, I need to get back to the reception down there. So, how's it gonna be? These 2 rooms, as I said, amazing. Don't you agree?"
Do we know how much her salary
No.
is?
Well, you never asked.
No, we did not, and we don't even know if we can pay him 150 gold at the end of the week.
But so you did not ask your salary, but you have been told before that your salary is considerable, and that
Okay.
you're being paid considerably. So you don't know what the details is, but you know that you're going to be given plenty of money. Plus, you were also told that if there are any additional expenses, you can also ask for extra money if it's critical for the mission.
Okay. All right, then fine. Let's agree.
I want to ask him one more thing before we buy the room. So once we prove to you that we can pay, right, that we get paid, will the room price drop after that then? If we needed to stay here longer? Because we proved to you we can pay.
The innkeeper says, Well, we'll see about that then when that comes around.
No.
Who knows?
We'll see right now.
The innkeeper says, maybe the rooms will be occupied by then.
All right, let's just agree to pay the 150, and then we will sit down everything. And
You have deal.
The innkeeper,
Kalon offers hand.
the innkeeper looks at Kalon and says, just as a security, how about you give the axe? Keep it. You'll get it at the end of the week.
So now you're adding
Fine.
extra things onto the deal?
I mean,
Okay.
it's fine. And he takes it, and he makes a show out of making like a flourish before he hands it to him. Like he knows what he's fucking doing with it.
The innkeeper grabs the axe, clearly doesn't know what he's doing with it, and shakes Kalon's hand and says, very well, 7 days from now, 150 gold. Else I am going to have to ask the guards to escort you to Cold Iron. Of course, the distance is not very long. It's right over there on the other side of Magerum, on the other side of river. And you can actually, from the window, you can see the tower that is the Magerum. And behind it, you actually do see some sort of building. It's hard to tell because the tower is blocking most of it, but apparently that is where the prison is. And then the innkeeper leaves.
Yeah. No key?
The innkeeper says, I lock up all the rooms.
Great.
Very well.
All right, we got a hotel room. Congratulations, guys.
Yeah, we got two hotel rooms.
We got 2 hotel rooms.
For the low price of 150 gold for 7 days.
All right. All right. I have an errand I want to run, but I suppose it could wait until the next day. Or later than that if we want to fast forward a week.
Mm-hmm. Are there any specific plans on what's next steps for you all?
I want to check out the Mid-Urim sometime. That seems pretty important.
Yeah.
Any other stuff?
Well, outside of just general information gathering, not really.
What kind of errand would Talia be doing?
It's to go to the Mid-Urim, but I want to do it alone.
Oh.
But it would be. I can't imagine they're open in the evening, so that wouldn't be something I'd be doing the day that we get settled in the hotel.
Yeah. And I mean, I imagine you would probably want to be going there maybe after you have all gone there together first.
Yeah, that'd probably be a good idea.
Mm-hmm. Sure. well, yeah, we can say that you would probably be quite tired after the day. You'd find a way to get some food and so on, rest for the night and so on. And so you would be trying to get to the Magirum the next morning, maybe.
Yeah. How are we eating? Is that something we have to worry about, Duke? How we're getting food?
No,
Okay.
unless you want to worry about it.
I don't want to worry about it. I don't want to
ask
go to Cold
questions,
Iron
then.
for stealing food.
You could do it.
Okay.
Maybe that's where all the secrets are hidden.
Yeah.
Actually, I mean, yeah, maybe you're see, this is actually the solution to all the problems, because obviously criminals know all the best secrets. So your job is to get caught by the police and sent to prison,
Yes.
so that you can then find out information from the other prisoners, and then you need to escape. Perfect plan. What could go wrong?
Mhm.
So, you eventually end up going to the Magirum. As said, it's like this big tower, but there's also like a building at the bottom. It looks pretty fancy. And as you arrive at the Magirum, there is some sort of commotion going on there. There's a lot of people gathered around. And as you approach, you'd kind of have to start pushing through the crowd to get in if you wanted to see what is it all about.
Yeah, I mean, that's where we're going.
Or you could ask somebody what it's all about.
Nah.
You just make your way through the crowd, like literally pushing people away from you. All right. Well, it seems there's a little stage, wooden stage in front of the Magirum, and on the stage there is currently a Warforged standing there. And they're just standing there, just kind of unmoving.
Okay, I'm gonna ask somebody what's going on then. If people are just standing around watching a Warforged, also just stand around. Yeah, I'll ask someone.
Is he being born? Is he coming alive?
One of the people says, we're waiting for the auction to begin.
Oh.
I see.
They had they say Magus Black is gonna be here today.
Does this happen often? Selling the Warforged?
Every day in the morning, yeah. Each day there's an auction for a new Warforged. Only the luckiest and richest ones are gonna get one. I have no chance, but I just want to see Magus Black, to be honest.
In your opinion, are the Warforged like citizens or are they just like servants? Like
My
again,
original
mixed signals.
assessment of the Warforged.
The person says, I don't really know how to answer that question. I mean, I guess they're citizens. I mean, they're here to serve.
So are they citizens or are they servants? That was my question. It's a both, kinda.
The person just says, yeah, they're citizens. They want to serve us.
And you know that? You know they want to serve you?
Of course, they say so themselves.
Okay. Just curious, we don't have them where we come from, so, you know, it's just interesting to see.
Oh, yeah, okay. Where are you from?
Livernia, so.
What's that?
It's far, it's past the rift, so.
Oh.
Yeah, so-
the person kind of moves away from you a little bit and says, okay, bye.
Can Artie try something?
Try what?
Can I see the Warforged?
Yes, you can see.
Okay. Artie would like to try to reach out with his mind and just tell the Warforged to turn around.
Mm-hmm. So you're just using which ability are you using?
It's called Awakened Mind.
So yes, it's basically just like it's this telepathy thing, yeah. They do have to be 30 feet from you. I'm not really sure if they would be, but we can say yeah. It's not that important, but yeah, okay, yeah. The Warforged, you notice suddenly kind of looks around a little bit, being like, huh? And then just stands there.
Good to know.
Are there like any other Warforges around us right now? You said some are like soldiers earlier and stuff like that. Like any Warforges like working around us right now?
They weren't really soldiers. They were like
or like guards.
Private guards for the nobility, basically. In the crowd, no, there aren't any Warforged. You've seen some around the town though, but none of them are like in this crowd.
But any in like the immediate area besides the one up on the stage?
No.
Okay.
Suddenly, you hear people starting to cheer and applaud, and you can kind of try to see what's going on, and you'll see that there's this very, very small gnome who walks out from like behind the stage and from the building behind, wearing very kind of simple robes and a hood that is up as well, and this gnome just walks around and just kind of waves at everyone and walks up on the stage, and you hear people whispering like, there he is, and they're cheering, and everyone's like, yeah, Magus Black, yeah. And the gnome gets up on the stage and and starts speaking to the crowd and says, "Welcome, all citizens, to today's auction. I will personally be presenting today. We have a special case here today. Before you is Ibirol Reborn, a hero who has slain 50 drow and has now returned to us to serve the city, serve the people yet again. Do we have any bids?" And you look around kind of in the crowd to see if anyone's like yelling or anything. You see somebody, you don't like see who they are, but you see a hand come up. They're raising like three fingers like this. They're raising them, and Magus Black looks that way and says, "Yes. Do we have any other bids?" You see a bunch of other hands as well get raised up, and then he looks at all of them and says, "Very good, very good. Any others? Any other bids? None? Very well. Bidders, you may come in." And then a bunch of people who had raised their hands kind of get through the crowd and go out there to the stage. And then Magus Black waves at everyone again and says, "Thank you all for joining today's auction. Have a nice day." And then the gnome kind of jumps off and starts leading this group of bidders inside of the mage room, and the Warforged as well follows them. And the crowd around just applauds. Everyone's cheering. Everyone's like, "Yeah, yeah, it's all great." And as they go away, the crowd just kind of starts dispersing.
Can we still see Magnus Black? Or is he gone?
Nope. What did you have in mind?
I wanted to go up to him and be like, "Oh, I forgot to raise my hand," or "I came in late."
You want to try and buy it?
Not actually. I just want to get in there.
Sure. You can like try to kind of yell in there and be like, "Hey, you forgot me." And one of the other bidders actually turns around and kind of snaps at you and says, "Get here tomorrow then."
I'm here right now, though. Why wait? Don't like competition, I see.
The kind of group there kind of stops. Everybody seems a little confused, and the gnome leading the group kind of peeks from behind the other people and says, "What's the problem?"
Well, I'm interested in the bidding.
He looks at you and says, "No, you did not bid."
I wish to know.
Too late. Come back tomorrow.
Okay, this is getting us nowhere. I will come back tomorrow then.
All right. The group goes inside.
All right, we're gonna go Sorry. We can still go into the Magirium, right? Or is that where this
They went
group is
there,
going?
and all the doors are closed. It does
there's
not.
n-
You
there's
don't
no-
get us. You don't get a sense that it's a public building.
Oh, there's no portion of it that's open to the public.
At least not that you could tell right away.
Okay, fine.
Well, any other things that we want to do? I don't know if we're getting in here today. We could always make a bet tomorrow, I suppose, and just get in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want to maybe discuss your plan altogether? Like, what is it that what's your like point? Why do you want to get in there? And
Well, I
what's
think
your
we all wanna
plan
get in there.
once you? What's your plan once you do?
Yeah, because we're gonna say we want to bid. We're gonna go in, and then we're gonna fail the bidding on purpose, and then they're like, are they gonna let us like? They're not gonna like give us a tour or anything.
No, I just find it weird that they held up like a 3 symbol already, like as if they were already bidding. So I'm just curious if there's like
Yeah.
more going on, I guess.
Yeah.
I just kind of want to see what's going on.
Yeah.
We don't have to do that though if we don't want to, but
No.
I would also suggest
worthwhile
that,
getting
like,
in there and seeing stuff.
yeah, I mean, sure, it may very well be, but also if your only like knowledge that you want, or you know that you want, is that what's the next part of the process, instead of trying to kind of get your way inside there, again, you could always just try to find somebody to ask. Like, you could wait around the place for one of the people to come out, for example, and ask, how does it work? What's going on inside there? Because everybody else seemed to be kind of like knowledgeable about what's going on.
well, only rich people, right? I would imagine, because they said only rich people and lucky people actually get the bid or get
Yep.
the Warforged. So you'd have to have someone rich.
We could also, continue looking around the building itself to see if there is any more public, accessible areas.
So you kind of look around. So this is by kind of the river. There is the tower part, and then there is a section that is like walled off. There's no way for you to like kind of see what's inside, unless you started flying. And pretty much if you're just gonna lurk around the building, all you're gonna see is like walls. On the back side of it, I mean, there's doors inside as well, but on the back side you see that it is basically like right on the river, on the side of river, and you can tell that this part of the river is like you on the other side there is a wall. On the other side of the river there's a wall, which is, you can tell clearly it's the prison, and on this side it's the Magirum. And you see some boats going along the river as well, like small like rowboats and such. But yeah, you don't see any sort of like immediately obvious way to. There's nothing where you could just like wander in. I said there's doors that you could knock on, but there's no sign that says like welcome.
I don't know what to do about this. I mean,
you could wait and ask someone that comes out, or we could just do something else for the time being and come back to it.
Can go to the library.
yeah.
What's your goal right now?
Oh. We were told to find out about the Warforged
Mm-hmm.
and how they're made. And it seems like the answers are in the building. But I don't know if getting in... I don't know if getting in under the pretense of buying one is going to give us that much information. But we could just sit and wait for someone to come out, just like just a regular employee of the Magirium, and just ask them questions.
I mean, I'm down for whatever.
I feel like that, yeah, we could do that. They might find that very suspicious, but we could do that. They might not think it's that weird. People being curious about the Warforged. Yeah, it's probably fine. All right.
Also, should we stop telling people that we're past the rift, by the way? Because people don't seem to react very good to that.
I guess. I think they just seem wary. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just floating it out there. That's all.
Yeah, I know. I'm concerned about the consequences. I mean, for regular people, yeah, sure, but like anyone important, I fear the consequence of like telling them we're from somewhere else and then getting caught in that lie.
I'm just saying we don't tell them we're from the rift. We can still say Livonia.
Right? Yeah.
But they
Okay,
seem
yeah.
to have a problem with the rift part, like specifically, almost.
Yeah.
But they do also seem to be. They don't seem to know what Livonia is. So one suggestion could be to figure out a solid kind of go-to lie.
Yeah.
Like you can figure out
Saying
what's the local like. What's the local, or not local place, but some place in Armaven where you could kind of say that you're from there, and they'll know that you're weird, and not ask any questions.
Well, Lore Terrace is on its own island. Yeah. We could do that. I feel like saying Livonia and then saying Livonia is to the west is better than like even a city that they're familiar with. Because like you said, it's the rift part that they're like weird about.
It seems to be, at least, yeah.
Yeah. And just saying we're like from another continent to the west. they might be like, oh yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, fine. Liburnia is now to the west, as far as any normal person is concerned. Okay. If we're talking to someone like Magus Black or Zarel or like anyone important, obviously I don't think we need to do that.
Well, Zarel and the Duke, we probably have to, because we are still here for diplomatic reasons. They probably need to know where we're from.
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying is like for them, we don't need to lie to them.
Oh, I thought you were saying lie to them. Okay.
No, not lie to them. But like we would lie to like the random strangers we meet.
Sure. Sounds good to me.
Okay. That's the general agreement now.
All right. So, you've achieved great things today. You have found a place to sleep. And you've also met some people. You've gained some information. Hopefully you've taken some notes about some strange details that may have been thrown your way. Maybe some details you may have not even noticed. But yeah, that's gonna be it. And next time, I suppose you're gonna be trying to investigate the Majorum, or at least talk to some people, and then decide if you want to be breaking in there. Well, not breaking in, but you know. Well, I mean, I don't know if you want to break in as well. It's not like they have the magical items all the gods have.
Yeah.
To stop such things. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today. Thanks everyone for joining in, and as said, next week hopefully we'll have Ale with us as well. So Erevan's expertise will help you out. There would have been some useful things from Erevan this time as well.
You like when we were trying to negotiate with the keeper.
Anyways, thanks.
Probably.
And,
if I've clocked his, if I've figured out roughly what his deal is of being like a super charming noble half elf, if that's what he really is.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah. So thanks for joining, and see you in 1 week. Bye.
Thank you. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.